off. I don't bring my oxygen. Every ambulance has oxygen. I have 2 additional oxygen tanks in here, so if I need portable oxygen, I can get that. So when we come out to meet you, we'll bring this bag, which is primarily our airway supplies. We'll bring a monitor, and we'll bring a drug box. We carry some narcotics, we carry paralytics, some other party favors. Other equipment that we carry, we do have an ultrasound, so we can take a look at people's heart activity, see if there's any collection of fluid, blood around the heart. We can, if they have a need to put in a chest tube, we can do finger thoracostomies, or we can put in chest tubes to relieve pneumothorax or hemothorax. We carry blood. The blood we will typically leave in the aircraft, and we'll just transfuse that during the transport. But if you tell us that there's a pretty significant blood loss, maybe I'll bring a unit to the ambulance when we meet up.
Do you have to have all kinds of different blood types? Or?
No, we carry O negative, which is the universal donor for packed red blood cells, and A positive for plasma. The antibodies, antigens are different between the red blood cells, which is the solid part, and the plasma, which is the liquid part of the blood. One has antibodies and one has antigens, and the blood types are different. So, like, I could give you O negative blood, and you're not going to have a reaction to it. But plasma, I'd have to give you A plasma. It's just the way it works. From a medical standpoint, the things that would really be beneficial to me is how much the patient weighs.
So I was going to ask, how big of a patient can you take off here?
So we don't have a weight limit. We have a girth limit. If the seatbelts don't fit, they can't fly. So anybody that's over 300, we're going to start questioning how big around are they. And typically, if you're over 350, you're probably going to be too big to fly.
About height?
No limitations.
No limit height?
No. If you're more than 6 feet, even if you decide to put a traction split on, I don't know if you can see the netting that's back here.
Yeah, that opens up.
We can empty the netting, and it's designed so that when we load, we can actually even have a traction splint hanging out from the bottom of the stretcher. We're still okay. But if your patient weight, the sooner I get that information, that's really helpful to me, because we will draw up our sedation medications, our paralytics, based on that weight. So if we need to secure an airway as soon as we land, I already have my drugs drawn up. Just walk in, do our quick assessment, set up, give the drugs, secure the airway, and get out. So the table we typically take off, so that won't be a factor. Blood, suction. If the patient is on oxygen and we're coming across, bring a portable tank with you. I had one crew that I met up with. The patient was on a non-rebreather, came out of the ambulance, and they just pulled it off the wall, and we start walking the aircraft. So it's not supposed to be looked at. Doesn't work too well without the oxygen. What questions do you have?
I just had one, but I can't remember what it was. I'll think about it here for a second.
You'll think about it when they leave.
Yeah. That's usually how it happens.
That's usually how it goes.
Do you guys stage right at U of M, so like on your shift you just hang out there, and then how long does it take for you guys to get calls to be there?
It's mostly the limitation from the pilots with checking weather and getting clearance from the FAA, from Metro Aviation. So our pilots don't work for the University of Michigan, they work for a company called Metro Aviation. They're based out of Louisiana. So our pilots will check the weather, but they have people in Louisiana that are also checking the weather, and both of them have to agree that the weather is okay before they can accept the flight. So typically that takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And the sooner you can call us, the better.
Yeah.
And if it turns out that you don't need us, cancel us, no big deal.
A lot better to...
You need flight hours anyway, right?
Right. We need to practice. This was a drill. It's okay. That's fine. And during that time, I'll run up to the blood bank. I'll grab our blood that we keep in the blood bank, and we'll get everything prepared in the aircraft while the pilot is doing his pre-flight. So we're ready to go. What we really don't want to have happen is you get on scene, you spend 45 minutes extricating the patient from the car, and we should probably call a helicopter. Because then you're waiting on scene for us to get there. At that point, it would probably be faster to just put them in the ambulance and run.
Yeah, if your first initial on scene is helicopter, no helicopter, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Yeah. And so as time goes on, and it turns out, well, they're not as bad as they initially look, you can always cancel. Not a big deal.
It's hard to walk. Oh, yeah.
Ted and Sandy, they came with a respiratory background. They do all of our ventilator training. Anything respiratory, they're heavily involved with. Anything that deals with cardiac devices. My background with ECMO, I do a lot of that type of training. Jeff, because he did neonatal transport, he does a lot of our neonatal resuscitation.